Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Coffee with Craig show. We'll be talking about commercial real estate in Central and Eastern Europe. So now the house is up and running. You got everything. I see, obviously you have the office up and running. We're here in this great location. And so what's going on in your firm now? What kind of business are you getting? What kind of, I assume it's not investors looking at long-term deals and big kind of funds buying things. But I mean, of course, everyone still has legal issues and wants to rebuild and things like that. Yeah,
exactly. Mm-hmm. So yes, to a certain extent, we have the matters and mandates that we used to be getting in the past, mm-hmm. and so that's helpful for us. Mm-hmm. But there are certainly new type of work that clients need our assistance with, considering the war. Mm-hmm. So in the employment practice, we assist our client with whatever employment restructuring matters they need to do, and with the employees moving abroad, mm-hmm. Helping them to document that properly. So, and that's a good thing, because people continue working. Often they continue working for Ukrainian companies, remaining on the payroll of Ukrainian companies, and this way paying taxes in Ukraine and, mm-hmm. and helping to finance, the existence of our country as well as the fight of our army. Right. And that's what we did. That mm-hmm. For all our lawyers who are abroad, we still keep them on.
Kept them on the payroll here, paying taxes here.
Yeah, we pay taxes here, and that's one of our contributions.
Well, fighting wars are not cheap, and you need people paying their taxes.
Yeah,
right?
and we are doing that. Mm-hmm, yes, mm-hmm. and. Then for many clients, certainly they had real estate matters that they needed to be addressed. Again, there were force majeure situations, and there is certainly a wave of different types of matters, either renegotiating the terms of the leases or canceling the leases due to the force majeure, mm-hmm. Or handling some insurance
claim, yeah.
Matters. Mm-hmm. Yes, and that's also, it has its angle whether or not insurance policies cover the war risks. And
yeah, because in general they don't, right?
In general they don't, although there are some policies which do, and certainly there was a price for that. And
if you have a good enough lawyer, he'll find a place where there's a chance to win, right?
It's not even the matter of good enough lawyer, but it was more the matter of the cost of the insurance. So obviously, right. Mm-hmm. On the non-war related risk, you pay 0.5% premium, mm-hmm. and on the war related risk, you pay 3%.
Right. So if you're paying more, then
you are
should be covered somewhat.
Yeah. So I guess most of the policies don't have that, because mm-hmm. nobody could imagine that we have a crazy guy, across the border. But
even the day before the invasion, actually, I couldn't even imagine why the American embassy was fleeing the country, and they were already left. And I thought, this is nuts.
Yeah, likewise, I was of the same view. Yeah, the night before, exactly.
I guess that's why you get insurance, because you never know, right? I mean, even with the most unusual things. So the house is up and running. I guess the neighborhood, is it coming back a little bit, or is it? How's that?
The neighborhood where I live.
Where you're living, yes.
It's to a certain extent, yes. Mm-hmm. I mean, people are coming back, fixing their homes and houses. I mean, those who can, and those houses which actually did not burn. Because mm-hmm. we have in our neighborhood, we have third of the houses which were burned down completely.
Right. So that's just some rebuilding
that's really a tragedy for the people losing their homes. Mm-hmm. And these are my neighbors, so many of them I know personally, and mm-hmm. Irpin itself is a very much resort suburb. So the only military object which we had in Irpin was the military hospital. A large one, a very sophisticated one, the one which we were helping with since 2014. So mm-hmm. we were bringing staff there and buying sometimes clothes, sometimes medicine. So that was the only military object there. And but that hospital was bombed too.
I was going to say, you're not really supposed to be bombing hospitals in wars, are you? Isn't that the reason they paint the big red cross on the top so people don't drop bombs on those places?
Yeah, well, probably Russians consider that as a target.
As a target. Well, clearly, yes. So how do you see things? I know it's always short term, but how do you see just the short term business and going forward? And what? I guess each client's different, but what kind of advice are you giving when, let's say, a foreign client is coming to you and saying, "Look, we're in the middle of this process, or we finished it. What do we do now?" Yeah, how do you see? I guess how do you see the law interacting with business these days? Would be a better question, or the internet, or the politicians in the legal system.
Right. Well, the good thing for us and for the country was that the country over the years was becoming integrated in the international business, into the global business, and you cannot imagine how many international transactions are going on which have Ukrainian elements. So, for example, in high tech or IT, when bigger players or private equity or venture capital are taking over some company, say in Chicago, Illinois, I mean, it turns out that company has, 60% of its workforce in Ukraine.
Right. And, so 500 of them sitting in Kyiv or somewhere.
Right.
So that's affected those, I would imagine.
So that helps us to certainly stay busy and assist those clients to do their transactions. There were other deals too in different sectors, in energy, in renewable energy, in conventional energy, in agriculture or infrastructure. So chemical industry. So
still a lot going on.
It's not that it's going on directly in Ukraine. It's going on somewhere else, but it affects Ukraine. In factory production and equipment production, whatever. Ukraine was, to a certain extent, also was evolving as a kind of a China across the border of EU, because logistically wise and efficiency-wise, it was making sense to locate a lot of factories. Those that you would see like years ago being located in China, now they were, before the war, they were being located in Ukraine.
So these owners need your help to figure out what to do.
Yes, and we are helping them. Yes, and I'm happy that they actually, whenever they seek help from the point of view how to continue business in Ukraine in those circumstances, rather than how to escape. So we when we talk to either international clients or Ukrainian clients who were also before the war had become very internationalized, and luckily they are in a situation that they can move part of their production or bigger part of their production abroad. And for example, we have in Ukraine a famous producer of alarm systems called Ajax.
Okay.
And they were like really the flagship Ukrainian company in that sector. And so their move was to move part of their production facilities abroad and continue operating. And so that's good that
they're staying.
That they are staying abroad, but I'm sure once we win that war, they will come back, and that's I have no doubt about it.
Well, just talking to the American Chamber of Commerce here in Ukraine, I mean, 80% of the companies have said, no, we're staying, we're operating, we're expanding, we're continuing business. So doesn't mean the other 20% won't, but it seems like in general, everyone's staying and everyone's going to support the country, or at least the big players are, for sure. I mean, I think that's maybe some of the smaller ones don't have a choice, but it seems like the big ones and I think whether they want to for business reasons or they want to for moral reasons, I think I can see they're staying. Yeah.
Right. And smaller ones too. Actually, you look at farmers. Of course, there is a big real estate element in their business, in the land. But looking at what Ukrainian farmers are doing, and I mean, they are as heroic as our army is, and of course it's strategy that Russian attack not just hospitals, but they sometimes attack just the cornfields.
Or dropping bombs or mines in the cornfields. I mean,
exactly.
very.
And farmers, they cannot move their business elsewhere.
It's very difficult. Yes.
And they continue operating, and you hear the whole world kind of signaling how important it's for Ukraine to continue exporting wheat and other agri-commodities, and so that's and that's the spirit of the nation, really.
And I think it's not going to get easier for them in the near future. I think it's going to be a tough.
It's going to be
time.
Tough. Unfortunately.
No matter when everything ends, it's still going to be a tough battle. I mean, for the farmers to clear the mines out of the field.
Yes.
So that's great. Well, Taras, thank you very much for your time. We appreciate it. I can see we're running 20 minutes, so we'll make this like a 2-part series of shows as we're making them into 10-minute shows each. So we really appreciate your time. Thank you for being on the Coffee with Craig show, and you've already got our Coffee with Craig cup. So
thank you, thank you, Craig.
And we'll definitely see you. We're coming back at the beginning of September. We're bringing some commercial real estate guys with us, some retailers with us some are already here, some are expanding. They're looking also looking for opportunities and looking to, I think, and again, whether it's opportunities to make money, of course, that's how we stay in business, but also just out of the sheer, hey, we want to even set up here because it's a moral obligation to do so and to show that we're all on one team.
Yeah, well, we have to make sure that those opportunities will exist.
Exactly.
And we will deliver.
Exactly. Well, great. Thank you all for watching the Coffee with Craig show. We really thank you for your time. We really enjoy you watching with us, and we will see you in several other interviews in Kyiv this week. So stay tuned. A lot of interesting people coming up, interesting things happening. Have a good day. Click here to subscribe to the Coffee with Craig show, and don't forget to share it with your friends.